What's up, everybody? My name is Josh Riel, and this guy, Jim Vavida, went to the set of Justice League.
I did.
I'm not jealous. So there's a ton of stuff that you learned, about the plot and the characters and the tone and all this stuff. I'm going to put all that to the side because there's one thing I want to know about, and what's Batman going to be like in the Justice League movie?
Well, Batman's got some new toys. He has 2 new vehicles that we will see a lot of in the film. He's got an augmented costume as it goes on. So let's start with the new vehicles. Well, first, the existing Batmobile gets tricked out with a few more weaponry.
Really?
And you're like, oh God, more firepower? Like, didn't he
That thing was
kill
already
enough
a death
people?
machine on wheels.
Well, it's a bit more this time, but don't worry. He's not just, killing henchmen for hire. He's fighting parademons this time, so you got to give him a break. This time the firepower is okay this time. They're not real and they're not from Earth.
Okay,
so
he won't be dragging dead bodies around in a car and then he'll use to create more dead bodies.
Yeah, he's not going to be running over any more Ukrainian henchmen or any of that stuff, blowing them up. Now, the next vehicle he has is called the Nightcrawler, or just the Crawler. And it's sort of like the cab of it is sort of like a forklift. But it's sort of like, DARPA puts out those robot dog spider things on
and it's kind of freaky
legs.
to watch them.
Yeah, and they can climb up walls.
Yeah.
That's basically what this thing is, but it's like the size of like a forklift or bigger. And he uses it, though, it's narrow enough that he can go down tunnels in it and climb up walls. And of course they just chunk into the wall and just, Batman can't do anything without causing property damage.
Right.
Otherwise he's not Batman. So this thing was pretty cool. It's got 4 legs and again, like this kind of almost like a forklift like cab, and he operates it like that. And was an existing Wayne tech from way back in the day that he is just reappropriating for his own use. And that is used in a key sequence in the underground of Gotham City and and in part of Metropolis too, but it's like leading towards Stryker's Island, which was seen at the end of BVS. So there's a big, it's got flamethrowers on there.
Really?
And some of the concept art we saw was just him toasting parademons.
Nice.
And we think if you're a demon, you're used to flames, but they're not those kind of demons.
Not bat flames?
They're space demons, different kind of demons. The other vehicle was called the Flying Fox. And it was a giant plane, like bigger than a B-52. It's sort of like their version of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.'s bus, and it's not helicarrier big, but he can park the Batmobile on there. He can park another vehicle, and it's sort of a mobile command center.
Okay,
And I was on the set of that.
This isn't like a sleek jet, like Batman.
No, but the cockpit is like in the back of the plane, and then it's kind of like all nose. It kind of, in a way, like remember the 1989 Batman. Batmobile, like the cockpit was in the back and then it was all like front end.
Yeah.
It's sort of built like that too, but it's a huge plane and it's old Wayne Aerospace stuff that he has retrofitted along with Alfred. Now, just to make it that much cooler, not only is it kind of a Justice League mobile command center,
which is awesome just to hear you say out loud.
because the concept art showed Justice League kind of having meetings in there and stuff like that, and Batman's in the cockpit flying it and all that. But Alfred kind of becomes like a de facto member of the League because he's like a tail gunner on the thing.
Really?
Yeah, because let's face it, the one thing we learned from BVS, Alfred's got no problem toasting anybody.
Yeah.
So Alfred kind of has his own role there on the ship. And then Batman himself, because he's going up against more and more of these more powerful threats, whether they're parademons or Steppenwolf, who is the villain of the piece, he has to then augment his own costume. Now, it's not going to be like the sort of the battle armor, that mech suit that he had in BVS. It's not that much, but he's now strapped on more armor plating. And there's sort of like a little thing in the back of his cowl that helps him just ties in with all these other augmentations to his suit. And then he has like these kind of almost like gold tinted goggles, like lenses. So it looks more like in the comics where you just see the whites of his eyes, except it's a little bit more kind of gold tinged.
How does this compare to his armor that he wore to beat up Superman?
It's not nearly as bulky as that. It's just another layer over his existing suit, and they call this version of it now his tactical bat
Right.
suit.
Is
But
it
it's
like an exoskeleton kind of thing?
no,
more?
it's really more like there's a lot of straps. Like he's just literally just strapped on more plating, more armor.
Gotcha.
And he's got kind of almost like a thing on his arm to, as kind of a nod of like, this guy has been doing it 20 years. He's probably got a lot of injuries. So it just kind of helps him keep his fighting power and stuff. But it looked cool. And they actually did thin out the neck of the cowl a little bit. But they didn't make a big deal like he made this whole new. They just kind of thinned it out a little bit.
Gotcha.
So it looked good. It looked good. But otherwise, it's not like he's got a brand new like mech suit kind of thing. It's just an augmented, more tactical version of his existing Batman suit.
Wow, so Batman's got a lot of new toys. So you like the direction they're going for Batman?
Yeah, I think it looks
Justice
good.
League?
You know, look, the Flying Fox thing is. It's kind of amazing because it is this giant plane, and at one point you see concept art of it hovering over the lake in front of the lake house that Bruce Wayne lives in, you know? And you're like, how does nobody not know this guy is Batman?
Yeah.
He's flying around stuff that they built like apparently decades before, and he's landing over his house. So it's
I know you said it's
not
not
very
a
subtle.
helicarrier, but it sounds like that's sort of going to be their version of the helicarrier, this mobile base, and that makes sense that he would have all this cool stuff on layaway.
And I got to be on the set of the. I got to see the Nightcrawler. I got to see the Batmobile, and I got to go on the set of the Flying Fox, sort of like the underneath of it, and like this massive engine thing that they had off to the side. So it was very cool. It looked good.
That sounds.
And I got to
awesome.
see and touch Batman's costume.
Oh wow, I'll have to talk about that later.
I touched everyone's costumes. I touched them all.
So that's what Jim learned about Batman on the Justice League set. He's got a lot more coming up on the site, so keep an eye out for all his Justice League coverage. And for more on Justice League, keep it here on IGN.